What's up guys, Stan here from Rocky Creek. Welcome back to the homestead. If you're new to our channel, welcome as well. So guys, you already know, garden of 2021 has been a struggle all year. Well now I got a new issue that is going on that honestly I've never had before, and I'm not really sure what it is or what I should do about it. So I'm hoping I can come to you all and maybe you can give me a hand. So let me go show you what I'm talking about and let's go check on the animals. Come on. So guys, I tell you what, it's super hot today. It's gonna be super hot all week. It's been hot. And I can't tell you the last time we've had any rain. We're in a pretty significant drought right now. Pretty much all the grass is turning brown. The creek has been completely dry for almost 3 weeks, which I have never seen it completely dry to start with. And there's really not much rain in the forecast for the next week. So I'm not really sure how things are gonna play out here on the homestead. You know, we are on a well, so I have to balance how much I'm watering stuff and to make sure everything's good for that. But I'll be real guys, I've never seen us with a drought situation like we're having. So we're just gonna hope for the best and hope we can get a good shower here pretty soon. We've already fed the animals for the day, but when it's hot like this, I do want to double check on the animals periodically if I'm off work and just make sure everybody's doing well. Let's go check on the piggies, see how they're doing today. Aw, sleepy heads. Hi, Miss Olivia. How are you? Mater. Hey, how about less sleeping and more trying to court Miss Olivia here? This is why we're not doing too good. I know, it's so hot. Y'all just want to stay in the shade. I understand. It's not time to eat, guys. I'm just giving y'all some fresh water. When it gets super hot like this too, the water in the hose line will get super hot, so I gotta let it spray for a little bit and get all that out. You like that, Mater? How's that feel? Y'all like that? Y'all know I can fill this up faster if you get out of the way. Or do you just like me hosing you down? Really, Mater? Really? Hey, take your butt itching somewhere else. Gosh, Olivia. Chloe saying hi to your buddy. You gonna behave today, brother? Huh? You gonna smile for the camera? Your people love you. So it's kind of nice on the weekends when it's really hot like this, because I'll try to come out here usually about 2 to 3 times a day. Usually, you know, like after breakfast, after lunch, and after dinner. Mostly during those times, it's really just to make sure that they're nice and cool. And Olivia in particular, her she's really bolted her fur lately. So she's pretty light colored, and so I really got to keep an eye on her too and make sure that she doesn't get sunburned on her skin, because that is something that they can risk. And they really don't have a waller in their pen. I've even tried to kind of make them one, but they really don't seem to be too much into it. They really just like to just have the water straight up, but unfortunately, the water doesn't give them protection from the sun. It just helps cool them off. So I keep an eye on her and try to make sure she gets in the shade some if need be. I don't know if you guys can see it. I don't want to disturb her, but I told you about a French black copper Moran that was kind of wigging me out. Well, I don't want to spook her out, but look at that. I got one in the nesting box. We'll have to see if she ends up doing something today, because that'll be super awesome if she lays a dark brown egg. I had just put brand new nesting material in their boxes this morning, so maybe that enticed her to finally get in. Q, what's the problem? Q, what's the problem? Q-tip's at another level. Q, just because we got more subscribers doesn't mean you're a celebrity yet. Doesn't mean you get away with all your drama. Sometimes I have to laugh at city and county ordinances that don't allow you to have roosters, because sometimes I'm not sure how knowledgeable they are about chickens. And although it's rare, you could end up with a Q-tip who, in my opinion, is far more loud and far more annoying than any rooster that I've ever owned. See? 2 roosters. Quiet. 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 Loud and obnoxious. Well, those boxes are full, so we're just gonna leave them be. We'll have to check back later and see if we got our first French black copper Moran egg. Mrs. Madison's on her way back from out of town, so she'll be pretty excited if we end up getting one today. All right, so everybody's good. Rabbits, I took care of them this morning, so they don't really need anything. So let's go down here to the garden and let me show you the problem that I've been having and see if you all may be able to help me out with this, because I'm kind of guessing what it is, but I have no idea if that's going to be correct. And look right here. This is why I got electrical netting around the garden. These guys literally stay around my garden all day, every day, but they don't go in. They could easily jump it, but they choose not to. So I'm pretty fortunate about that. I found this 48-inch height netting. Seems to be enough that they don't seem to bother it, although they could very easily if they chose to do so. So before I show you my problem, look at these beautiful multicolored zinnias we got popping up, and we got these spread all throughout the garden, but they're gorgeous, especially this red and yellow one. I love that one. We also got some sunflower heads starting to form up that should start be producing some flowers here very soon. And check out like this watermelon. That's my hand, if I can get you to see it. That's my hand from one end, so it's more than two of my hands put together. And there's probably, you can see there's maybe two more, one right there and one right there. Got two more in there, and there's a bunch more mixed in all throughout here. Of course, the cucamelons, they're doing fantastic still. I've raved about those plenty this year. I don't think we need to talk no more about that, but awesome, awesome plant. The long red noodle beans, they're starting to bloom, starting to run all across this trellis, but they still got a lot to fill in. Trying to squeeze in what we can on this late planting. And now, let me show you the problem that I'm having, and it's really taking a big effect on our garden, on numerous plants. I just saw one right now that wasn't there this morning. I'm gonna show it to you. So guys, I don't know how well you can see it, but you can see this plant is broke off here at the stem. And what I will find is in one day, I'll have a plant broken at the stem, but I'll have like this 2-inch or 1-inch hole that goes in underneath the plant. It's like whatever the critter is that's getting in here, it's eating the roots and eating the stem off of the plant and literally killing the plant that's doing fantastic in only a day. I mean, like you can see, this plant before this just happened was producing, I got about 8 or 10 cucumbers about this size that were growing fantastic. And now that this plant is completely chewed up, I'm gonna have to pull all these off because they're just gonna go bad on me. And this is only one of many plants that this has occurred with. With our tomatoes that we planted late in the season, let me show you. So you can see tomato plant here. I had one here, and this is where it first happened. This plant ended up having the same thing happen, and then about a week later here, and then about a week later here. And then I got these ones that are still okay. But just recently, I lost this one, and then this one, and then now look right here. Again, another hole at the base affecting this plant. And I have no idea what is doing this or what to do about it. And y'all know Madison's favorite crop that we grow are our watermelons. And I showed you how great those watermelons were doing. Well, unfortunately, I came out this morning and I just found the exact same thing has now happened to one of our watermelon plants. And the only problem now with those is that the watermelon plants have got so thick, they're so intertwined, it's hard for me to really gauge which ones are attached to which vine now because it got so thick on accident. But look at what's happened. And this literally 24 hours ago, this was a beautiful looking field of watermelon plants. And now look, all this area through the middle is dying out. And when I tried to figure out why, I ended up with the same issue with this plant right here, and something has chewed halfway through the base of the plant, which runs all the way down through here. And then there's another plant down in there I'm not going to try to get to. That's the same thing. I have a hole and something has chewed at the root system of it. So this isn't going to be the end of the world though for our watermelons, because I am fortunate enough that I do have probably about I don't know, 8 or so watermelons that are good size that could be harvested. They're just not going to be as big as they could have. There's about 4 or 5 of them that are really big, and they could probably go any day now, but I was just letting them fully ripen. But then there's probably half a dozen that were just started up that are maybe about a quarter of the size that they should be in order to harvest, that if they're attached to one of these plants, then I'm probably going to have to get it before it ends up going bad and gets infested with bugs. I've been coming out each morning or in the evening and watering the garden to some degree to keep everything good. It just kind of looks a little sad right now, those plants that haven't been chewed on, just because of how hot it is. They kind of wilt a little bit during the day and bounce back up this afternoon. But guys, I'm really at a loss. I tried to look online trying to figure out what it is that is causing this issue, and it really gives me a huge array of stuff. Most things are saying skunks or raccoons will dig at them, but skunk or raccoon's not getting in there, and that hole is far too small. So I'm thinking more in line of like a vole, a chipmunk. You know, I really have no idea. And then if it is something like that, what do you do to get rid of them or to keep them away from your garden? So I'm really coming out to you guys. One of the big reasons why I do my channel is to be able to help people who have zero experience with this, such as I did, and to give you the confidence to take that step and start growing some of your own food. But then also because I'm not a professional, I'm not an expert, I'm just some random dude who works full-time, who wanted to start raising his own food to better improve a medical condition. And I need y'all's help sometimes. And there's a lot of you all that are far more experienced than me, that have done a lot more than me. And through this networking, I've learned a ton from you. So I am now coming to you, seeking your help. As I was walking down here, I noticed that French black copper moran was out of the nest box. Let's go take a look and see if we end up with anything. Oh man. Oh man, that puppy's warm. And you can tell, this is definitely her first one. That's a small egg, but look at how awesome and dark colored that egg is. I'll give you a comparison real quick. So there's a good comparison. The two on my right are more of a standard brown, and then this is going to be the French black copper moran egg. Now this isn't as dark as I would have expected, but some of what I read, of course, you get various genes that can affect the darkness of it, but also I've read sometimes that the darkening of the eggs will actually get darker as they become more in depth in their laying age. So I'd be curious to see how these pan out, or how they compare to the other French black coppers too, if they're gonna start laying anytime. But guys, you literally just saw the very first French black copper moran egg laid here on Rocky Creek Homestead. Maybe I'm just nerdy, but I find that pretty cool. Another reason why I'm really glad that I actually found the egg today in the nesting box is because, like I told you all, she had been making some noises like an egg laying song during the day, and I was really worried that there was a secret place that she was laying eggs at, because I've had before in old videos I've shared with you all, I had a leghorn that was laying eggs under the coop, somehow was squeezing her body under there, and we had to block that up, and there was like over a dozen eggs underneath the coop. And then I also had an Easter egger one time who was getting out of the coop and going into my hay shed and had made a nest in a square bale of hay, and there was a huge amount of eggs in that when I finally figured it out. So I'm glad she actually used a nesting box, and there's not a secret stash of eggs that I'm unaware of. Well guys, that's going to take us to the end of today. I'm really hoping you all are going to be able to help me out with the situation that I got going on in my garden. You know, when it only was 1 or 2 plants, I didn't think a whole lot about it. I thought it was just kind of a weird fluke thing, didn't know what it was. But now that it's progressed to about 12 or so plants that I have lost of various types, I really need to figure out what it is, or it's a matter of time before I'm not going to have anything left in the garden. And I also wonder too if it has something to do with this significant drought, and maybe whatever critter's doing it is trying to get some moisture content in the plant, because there really isn't much of any water right now. But on a good note, a bad thing was closed out with a good thing today. And we got our first dark brown egg here on the homestead from one of our French black copper morans, which was the one key chicken that I wanted to add this year, and we are now having success with the laying. So I'm interested to see what Miss Madison says when she gets home from out of town and finds out that we got our first egg from one of them. I bet she'll be excited. But guys, I appreciate you coming along. Hope everybody's having a great week. Y'all be good, and we'll see you here real soon on one of our next episodes. Thanks guys.